And now I would like to invite a crowd of 80 prominent women, great personalities, to join us on stage. This is a powerful front fighting against terrorism and barbarism, a front which, as Mrs. Rajavi said, will create a new world based on freedom, justice, and equality. Please welcome them with your warm applause. Welcome all of these very prominent and distinguished women who are our friends. And now, most importantly, I want to welcome someone who is an inspiration to all of us, who is the leader of the National Council of Resistance of Iran, the woman who inspires people and who will lead us to a better future, Madam Maryam Rajavi.
Dear Ms. Rajavi, dear prisoners, dear unfree inhabitants of Camp Liberty, we are by your side. It has been especially Ms. Rajavi that has brought it home to us once again. She has lived through it. She had to witness it. She fought against it. She lost everything. She got up to her feet again. She's continued fighting. She has encouraged us once again. Do not give up. That would be folly. It would also be tantamount to renouncing all those values that we have achieved in Europe and in parts of the world. That is the most important mission. As long as I'm standing here, I would like to make you acquainted with this most recent book that has been published recently in occasion. Women Against Fundamentalism, against intolerance, and for equality and equal rights, for enlightenment, for information, and for peace.
در آستانه روز جهانی زن گرمترین درودهایمان نثار زنانی که برای آرمان برابری به پا خواستند، از خود گذشتند، راه را برای دیگران گشودند و عصر تازه‌ای را در جهان بشری نوید دادند. جهان ما در 2 قرن گذشته بارها از جنبش‌های برابری طلبانه زنان به اوج رسیده است. از جنبش‌های بزرگ زنان برای حق رأی و حق انتخاب شدن، تلاش برای کسب حقوق و آزادی‌های فردی از جمله حق تحصیل، حق مالکیت، حق طلاق، حق ارث، حق دستمزد برابر و افزایش سهم زنان در سیاست و اقتصاد تا مبارزات فداکارانه زنان در جنبش‌های آزادی بخش و ضد استبدادی. اما متاسفانه پیشروی آرمان برابری امروز با دیوار قطوری مواجه شده که بنیادگرایی اسلامی است. نیرویی که اگرچه با نسل‌کشی، تروریسم و اشاعه تبعیض تمام منطقه و جهان را به خطر انداخته، اما بیش از همه با زنان دشمنی دارد. به همین دلیل امروز در سراسر خاورمیانه روزگار زنان یکسره با ناامنی، سرکوب، آوارگی، کشتار و اسارت آمیخته است و بنیادگرایی فراتر از خاورمیانه کل اروپا و سایر نقاط جهان را تهدید می‌کند. با این همه من می‌خواهم بگویم که راه نجات و پیروزی هست و راه حل وجود دارد. هماورد بنیادگرای اسلامی نیروی زنان است. راه حل در جنبش مقاومتی است که به نیروی زنان و رهبری زنان اعتقاد دارد و این زنان هستند که پیشتاز این نبردند.
Ideology of Islamic fundamentalism that in fact distorts Islam. It creates a wall around its people. Iran is enslaved behind that wall of fundamentalist ideology. And it enslaves all of the Iranian people, but it especially enslaves the women of Iran, who do not even have the limited rights that their male counterparts have in that society. Women who are the heart of the family, who are the bedrock principle of the family, do not in Iran even have the right to their own children.
my third opportunity to speak to this group, and I want to thank Madam Rajavi for inviting me to be part of it, because I'm always inspired by not just the dynamism of the women here, but the partnership of women and men here who understand what is fundamental to changing society, what Iran needs to be.
Here's what's confounding to me. Having sat in a White House and advised a president of the United States on vulnerabilities and how to protect the American people, it is confounding to me that you would enter into a negotiation on the narrow issue of nuclear capability, as important as that is, without also including those issues so leveraged by a nuclear capability, so undermined by this regime. The notion that we would even enter into a negotiation about providing and permitting a nuclear capability to Iran, when we know very well it is a fact, not in dispute, that Iran is the single largest state sponsor of terrorism in the world. You wouldn't want them to have a nuclear capability, any capability at all, in the hands of a regime that tolerates and promotes the use of terrorism as a tool of their foreign policy.
I would like first to pay tribute to the women in Camp Liberty. I think we cannot begin any sentence here today at the eve of the Women's Day without having them in mind. The only person that I have seen talking about the imperative of having sanctions against Iran because it works, because it's the only thing that they understand, has been Madame Rajavi. She has been the one pointing out that because there is this leverage, we shouldn't be seeking in losing that leverage.
I understand what it means to deny my rights just because I'm a woman. I learned in the international documents today, Iranian woman is denied in every aspect of their private and public lives in Iran. Inhuman laws are enforced. For example, women cannot become judges, prosecutors. A woman's testimony is of a man's testimony, just because she is a woman.
We are not giving the lives to our children. They are killed by fundamentalists. We are not giving the life to our children to be imprisoned because of stupidity of dictators. And we are not giving the life to our children. They live as slaves. We are giving the life to have human dignity and the rights like human beings. Madam Rajavi, thank you for what you are doing. I am proud that I can say this sentence. First of all, friends, we cannot see the beauty of the world through the tears in our eyes. And friends, We are not the shadows of insecure men-like past. We are the human beings and the future for security and happy for all of us. Believe me, we are.
And in many parts of this world, but especially in Iran, they do not apply any of those actually normal rights. The mullahs are saying this is anti-religious, this doesn't fit Islam, and that is why women have no rights.
Für mich hat sich heute einiges geändert. Ich habe hier in Berlin sehr viel gelernt und ich habe in diesen Tagen mit meinen neuen iranischen Freundinnen oder von meinen iranischen Freundinnen, von charismatischen und couragierten Frauen gelernt, dass es wichtige Themen gibt, die man genau heute und morgen am 8. März ansprechen kann. Deshalb bin ich sehr froh, dass ich heute nach Berlin gekommen bin, um diesen Tag mit Ihnen zu feiern und mit Ihnen zusammen gegen die Verletzung der Menschenrechte, gegen die Verletzung der Frauenrechte zu protestieren. Dafür danke ich Ihnen, liebe Frau Präsidentin Maryam Rajavi und meinen neuen iranischen Freundinnen. Und ich bin sehr stolz, heute hier zu sein und auf Ihrer Seite zu stehen. Vielen Dank.
I introduce Mrs. Valentina Leskai, Vice President of the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe and former Minister. Mrs. Julie Ward, Member of European Parliament from UK. Mrs. Beatriz Becerra, Member of European Parliament from Spain. Senator Gary Duran Waddell from Spanish Senate. Mrs. Eva Duran Ramos, Member of the Spanish Parliament and First Vice President of the Committee on Employment and Social Security, Member of the Equality Committee. Senator Virginia Romero Banillo. Senator Luz Marina Socas. Senator Carlota Ripoll Juan from Spanish Senate. Mrs. Maria Dolores Bolarin Sanchez. Mrs. Immaculada Waita Banillo. Madame Nele Leinen, Member of the Belgian Parliament. Senator Stefani Pezzopane from Italian Senate. Mrs. Elisabetta Zamparotti, former member of the Italian Parliament. Mrs. Elizabeth Nauklier, member of the Finnish Parliament. Mrs. Maria Gerecha, member of the Romanian Parliament. And from this distinguished delegation, the speakers will be Mrs. Valentina Leskai, Mrs. Beatriz Becerra, Senator Gary Duran Waddell, and Madame Nele Leinen. Now I will ask Mrs. Leskai to please start your speech.
My country is a small country, but as was said today, more than 450 people from the Liberty Camp are in my country. And believe me, these women and men are a model, and they live in harmony with the community of my country. I wish other countries do the same. I have known many Iranian women in my life and in my activity. And I have admired, and I would say to you today, I admire all of you women of Iran. I admire your courage to fight for freedom and for justice. And of course, I admire and I appreciate Madame Rajavi, what she bravely does, not only for her country, but I believe for all women all over the world.
And I have been celebrating International Women's Day at a time when the whole world is facing the difficult challenge of Islamic fundamentalism, which is no longer a threat only to the Middle East, but also a threat in Paris, Brussels, and everywhere in the West. And this threatens all our democratic liberal values that we have in our Western world. But we should keep in mind that Iranian people were the first to suffer from Islamic fundamentalism. We should keep that in mind, and let us not forget that under the theocratic rule, Iranian women have suffered the most and have fought the most, and the Iranian resistance movement was the first to start the fight against this evil regime.
Some people even say that the Iranian regime is helping the victims of ISIS. And there are also Western countries who believe that by agreeing with the Iranian regime, this horrible situation will end. I think that none of this is true. The truth is that for decades exists in the region a despotic government that has served and serves as an inspiration for all those movements that now horrify us. All those movements fighting to gain political power by force of arms in their territories and also in neighboring countries. In fact, it was Khomeini who first raised the idea of caliphate.
Freedom doesn't stand up for itself. Democracy doesn't stand up for itself. Equality and rule of law doesn't stand up for itself. I'm here to say thank you to all the women standing for freedom, equality, democracy, and the rule of law.
In fact, in some countries, the world seems to be going backwards, with oppressive regimes bringing in archaic laws, denying women and girls freedoms they thought they had won, meting out ever more violence against women and girls, both physical and psychological, using religious fundamentalism as a perverse rationale for keeping us in our place.
Women suffer the most, whether it is internal arms conflict, whether it is war, whether it is violence at home. No one doubts that the roots of Islamic fundamentalism go back to when the Iranian regime came to power in 1979. But today, we have the opportunity to come to this gathering and tell the women of Iran and those brave women in Camp Liberty that you are not alone. We are here to stand with Mrs. Rajavi in the idea of building a global front of women against fundamentalism and extremism. It is an honor to commemorate all the courageous women who have given their lives in the path of freedom. I salute all the courageous women in Iran who never surrendered to the Iranian regime. Now I want to introduce the two courageous women who are here. I think they were already told to you.
Onikol Bobonazorova, she is the mother of human rights from Kazakhstan, a winner of Women of Courage Award of 2014. And also, Aniza Ahmed, Woman of Courage, winner of 2012, former Equality Minister of Maldives. Thank you very much.
وإنني اليوم لأنبهر بالحضور الكثيف سنة عن سنة، جمهور غفير له دلالة واحدة أن نساء ورجال صغارا وكبارا سيدتي الرئيسة الكل ينادي نعم للحرية لا للإرهاب، نعم للتسامح لا للتطرف، لا للكراهية النساء. سيدتي الرئيسة، أخواتي إخواني، اليوم أحضر وأعتز بتواجدي مع شقيقاتي من الجزائر، شقيقاتي من تونس، شقيقاتي من الأردن، شقيقاتي من سوريا، شقيقاتي من مصر الحبيبة، شقيقاتي من الدول العربية بصفة عامة، أن أكون بينهم لكي أشكر وأنوه البرلمان الألماني على احتضانه لهذا المؤتمر.
As women from Syria, where about 2 million have died or were wounded, let alone the people who were driven out of their homes and had to flee their homes and villages. We cannot speak about the rights of all women who cold-bloodedly were murdered, while the regime in Syria is still launching rockets and barrel bombs towards the population.
ich hoffe sehr, dass die Lieder, die wir jetzt spielen und singen,
I hope
euch
that
Kraft
the
schenken.
songs that we're going to
sehe,
sing
dass
will
ihr schon
give you
ganz viel Mut
strength and courage. I see that you have a lot of courage and
Wir
hope.
singen zuerst ein Gospel.
First,
Der
we're
kommt
going
auch
to sing a
von einem
gospel.
Volk, das Unterdrückung
They're
erlebt
singing
hat
of a
und dagegen
people that used to be
gekämpft hat.
oppressed and that got the liberty.
Wir warten, bis unsere
We are
Veränderung kommt.
waiting
We're gonna wait
until the changes come.
There are times in life when you're feeling dry, so dry, and it seems those gray clouds, they are just going to stay. But I know a man who holds my hand, and he tells me my changes are not so far away.
Meine Damen und Herren, liebe Freunde, liebe Gäste, ich heiße Adele und es ist mir eine große Ehre, dass ich die Gelegenheit habe, von Camp Liberty, der Internationale Tag der Frau, zu alle euch, das ganzen Welt versammelt sind, zu gratulieren. Und hiermit will ich auf unser gemeinsames Ziel und auf unser gemeinsames Verpflicht unterstreichen, nämlich der Widerstand gegen faschistischen Diktatur und Frauenfeindlichkeit des Mullahs-Regimes. Ich bedanke mich für alle Ihre Unterstützungen und wir zählen auf Ihre Tätigkeiten, dass die Zeichen auf Freiheit und Gleichheit ist. Vielen Dank.
Greetings to all. I'm very happy to have this opportunity to participate in this gathering. And even though we are far in distance, we are very close in our hearts. All of us are a part of the same family and that exists all over the world in different forms, but has the same message, the message of standing and resistance to fight against the fundamentalist dictators.
Chers amis, en cette journée de 8 mars, la journée mondiale de la femme, je vous rends les salutations les plus chaleureuses de toutes vos sœurs ici à Liberty. Merci beaucoup.
Je ne veux plus être une femme de l'histoire des hommes dans une cage, qu'elle soit d'or, qu'elle soit de fer.